Hello, welcome. I'm glad that you're back. I want to do something a little different today. I was praying and asking what I should do, and there's a couple pages in my first book, Identifying and Healing Childhood Sexual Abuse, and I want to read those to you. I'm healed now, and I barely remember what it was like back then. But the words that I wrote when I was writing this book, it took me a year. I cried every single day. I was just pouring out how I felt. And I just wanted to show you what God has done and what He can do for you too. I'm no one special in this kingdom. And maybe you can relate to how I felt back in those days. I'll start out here. The thing was, I looked okay on the outside, except for the slight tremor in my head and my shyness. It was a different story on the inside of me, because that was where all the damage congregated. That is what annoyed me so much throughout my life. Most of my problems were undisclosed. I had spent a lifetime trying to explain how I felt, and it didn't seem that most people got it. If I said I was depressed, I was told, just move on, get a job, go to college, forget about it, take a pill, or go for a run. People just didn't understand I couldn't do those things because I felt broken. And this is all due to childhood sexual abuse, incest in my own home, if you haven't met me before. And I didn't remember anything until I was 40 years old. The word depression to some people might be trivial, but to me it was blackness. The darkness whispered to me when I was a passenger in the car, just open the door and jump out, and the pain will stop. It screamed in my ears, take the bottle of pills and go peacefully asleep forever, or pick up that razor blade and end it now. How do you show all this pain to other people using words when they cannot relate? All the buried damage that I carried inside of me seemed to fester and spread like a cancer throughout my body. For instance, when I was a little girl, the symptoms were shyness, timidity, and fear of public speaking. As I got older, it spread into depression, anxiety, loneliness, perfectionism, panic attacks, nightmares, suicidal thoughts, obsessive thoughts, anorexia, social phobia, numbing out, multiple personalities, intimacy issues, no self-confidence, endometriosis, and TMJ. The unnamed problem was metastasizing and consuming me more every year. The interior maladies were screaming, look at me, here I am. I am showing myself to you in your nightmares and night terrors. You will never escape. It was all too much for me to decipher. The problems that were attached to me were too hideous to look at. As I was writing this chapter, sharing about how people would tell me to stop thinking about my problems, go get a full-time job or go to college, just stop being so depressed, my mind went back to when I was in my mid-20s and a beautiful vision came into my mind. It was a picture of my favorite animal since I was a little girl, a horse. The horse that I saw was proudly standing tall, a gorgeous specimen with a regal and majestic look about him. His head tilted up slightly as he was sniffing the air and checking out his surroundings. His body had strong molded muscles, and his chestnut brown coat shone brightly in the sunlight. The long flowing mane was blowing faintly in the wind, and he had a little white spot of color on his forehead. If you looked ever so closely at him, there was a slight tremor and twitch to his magnificent frame. He pounded the ground with his front left hoof, and you could tell that he was ready for a good run. But wait, He He was missing his back right leg. The missing leg was the only outward problem that I saw in the vision. Anyone looking at this horse would instantly know that he couldn't run, he could barely hop, and it was a miracle that he was even standing. This horse had so much God-given potential. He was eager to run, but he didn't have the ability to do so. No sane person would tell that beautiful horse, just run the race and take your mind off your problems, or I don't care if you only have 3 legs, just get out there and make me some money. No, people would say, my God, it is a miracle that you are standing unassisted. I am so sorry that you are handicapped. I want to help you. What can I do? Don't even think about running that race with only 3 legs. Wait there and I will find people to assist you or find a vet to put you out of your misery. I could identify with that chestnut brown horse in so many ways. The horse's head was held up high even though things were not right with him and his missing appendage. I too held my head up high, pretending like nothing was wrong, even though it was all untrue and just an act on my part. The horse was missing a leg and therefore was handicapped. His handicap was visible for everyone to see. My shyness was the main handicap that people saw in me. No one could see or even imagine all the brokenness that was bottled up inside of me. There were so many hidden maladies that I carried that were invisible to people that knew me or ever came into contact with me. This horse had so much God-given potential, but the missing leg prevented him from winning the race or even stepping up to the starting line. I knew that I too was smart and had great God-given potential in school or life, but the mysterious problems that plagued me were holding me back and keeping me unproductive. The horse's strong body had a slight tremor and twitch as he tried to balance on 3 legs. I too have had a tremor in my body since I was 20 years old for some unknown reason. The horse had only 3 legs. I too felt that I had lost something substantial in myself, but I didn't know what it was or when it left me. I always wanted people to be able to see my brokenness and to help me, just like they could see the horse's missing leg. I didn't want to have to try and explain my shortcomings all the time. After all, how can I explain my defects when I didn't even have answers myself? I was never looking for sympathy. I was looking for help to solve my mystery, the mystery of what was wrong with me, and someone to help me fix it. I yearned to have a spokesman because I was tired of coming up with excuses and apologies to other people. I needed this representative to speak for me and explain to the public, I am sorry, but Marilyn can't go anywhere with you all this weekend because she is broken and in need of repair. She is defective, damaged, and yes, her heart is also broken. Yes, I know she looks fine on the outside, but there's a lot of work to be done on the inside before she is ready to go out into the big, scary world. It could be years, or perhaps never. She has been pretending that everything is fine since she was a little girl, but she is unable to do that any longer. She is deteriorating. She has been looking for someone to help for such a long time. And until they do, she just needs to stay away from people so she can feel safe and protected. When the mystery is solved and she is strong, she will rejoin you all again. Oh, that's how I used to feel. That was me in a nutshell. And I know that there's people out there that feel similar to that, or maybe even worse. but I want you to know that God has healed me. And he took all of that garbage away, just all of it. And all I did was to reach out to him, ask Jesus into my heart, pray, and listen for the direction I was supposed to go. So if this touched you, I hope that you too will pray to God and ask for your healing, because everything that you have can be gone in a short amount of time. So I'll let you go now. I hope you like, subscribe, and most of all, comment. And we'll see you next time. That was a tough one. Almost cried. Bye-bye.